welcome to this class in which we're focusing on asanas which may help you if you're suffering from Crohn's or IBS. If you know a lot of my videos, then you'll know that mostly I teach without any props. But today, if you don't worry. If you have, grab yourself 2 brick blocks. If you don't, but you want to have something nearby anyway, maybe a couple of books will do. And then we'll also use a towel or a blanket or something like that. So we'll keep them to one side for the moment, or certainly the towel. And these blocks we can use right to begin with in Suptabaddakonasana, where we really just bring the soles of the feet together and come down onto our back. Now you don't need them, you can just lie here like that. But if you want to help yourself out a little bit here, then you can bring the blocks or books underneath your legs. So decide what's comfortable, and this is where we're going to start. One hand on the stomach and one hand on the chest. Close your eyes and get a sense of your breath. Just becoming aware of the fact that you are breathing, and then where can you feel the breath? Can you feel your chest rise and fall as you breathe in and out? Maybe let that hand on the chest wander to your rib cage. See if you can feel the movement there. Inhale, rib cage expands. And exhale, rib cage contracts. And then slowly bring that hand to your stomach so that both hands are on your stomach. Just feel the stomach rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. And for the remainder of the class, we want you to be very aware of every in-breath going all the way into the stomach. I should say letting the stomach rise, that means we're using the lower part of the lungs, which is the larger. And we should do that every single time. So every inhale lets the stomach rise. And on every exhale, the stomach falls. Very good. We'll relax our face muscles. No frowning, no clenching of the jaw. Just relaxation in the body. Shoulders and arms get heavy. The knees are already heavy, but now we're going to try and make the knees a little bit heavier and gently arching the back a little bit more than that neutral spine we're in, where there's a little bit of space underneath our lower back anyway. And we'll take deep breaths into the front of the body. Good, and from here on an exhale, drop your lower back down into the ground, raise your knees all the way up, and then bring the knees in towards your chest. If you've had blocks to support your legs here, they can come to one side now. We're just hugging the knees in towards the chest, feeling a little bit of compression here in the abdomen. And we'll take deep breaths. So we should feel that stomach against our thighs. Maybe we don't, that's fine as well if they're not that close. Just stay comfortable. The eyes can stay closed and we can smile into our body. Just giving ourselves a little smile. If you're doing this class with someone else, you can smile at them. And we'll just take a couple of deep breaths here. And then on your next exhale, slowly release the feet and bring them about mat distance apart. You can go further than that as well, but mat distance is fine. Interlock the hands behind you. Feel the relaxation here in your upper back. And then from here, shift your hips over to the right. So the buttocks go all the way to the right here, and we're going to drop our knees gently to the left. We don't want our shoulder to rise here, so keep that right shoulder firmly on the ground. Gently turn the head to the right, and don't worry about how high or low the knees are. Just make sure that you feel a nice deep stretch here in the right side of the body, and you're going to feel that in your lower back as well. And we'll stay here for a few deep breaths. Focusing in this class, of course, on the abdominal area, but on the lats as well. We'll have a few nice twists in there as well. Not just that compression and decompression of the stomach. Good. On your next exhale, slowly raise your knees here. And make sure that the feet are still mat distance apart. Again, maybe a little bit further if that's comfortable. From here, bring your buttocks over to the left side. And then drop your knees to the right and turn your head to the left. You might feel that this side feels very different from the other side, and that's completely fine. Don't force anything, don't push anything, just be comfortable wherever you are. And we're here to now become aware of the left side of the body being stretched. We take nice deep breaths all the way into the lower belly. Another thing that might be quite nice here is to sigh out. This relaxes us, activates our vagus nerve faster than just slow and deep breaths do. And that's the longest cranial nerve in our body and connected to all of our vital organs and sending messages to the brain to say stop producing stress hormones. It's just calming us down. On the next exhale, raise the knees. We're going to bring the buttocks back into the middle of the mat and then hug the knees back in towards you. Notice how your lower back is feeling. And just a little reminder here to be kind to our body. It's not about imitating how I look here, but really just getting a feel for your body and where your body's hurting, where you want to stretch, what's comfortable and what isn't. Now slowly bring that left foot down into the ground, bring the right knee on top. This is enough, but if you want to go further, bring that right foot underneath the left leg again. And we come back to bringing the hands underneath our head. We're going to bring that left foot to the right side. The buttocks follow just as before. And then from here, we're going to drop the knees to the left and turn the head to the right. So slight change, but still the same asana. This is all Markatasana, or the monkey pose. It's known by different names as well, but that's because yoga is quite old, and of course there's different ways of pronouncing asanas, different ways of doing asanas. Now make sure that your shoulders are still both firmly relaxed on the ground. And we start breathing into our lower back, so feeling the breath there. If you have one hand there on the lower back, you might want to bring one there. You will be able to feel some movement there in the lower back as well. Of course, the movement in the stomach is more pronounced. There's more going on there. But the back is very much part of that process of breathing in and out as well. Now on the next exhale, slowly raise your knees again. And release the hands for a moment. We're going to bring the knees in towards us. Still keeping that right knee on top of the left. Some of us might find that a little bit hard. If you do, just bring that right knee towards you. Bring the left foot down onto the ground. If you want to go deeper, then hold onto your left knee, so the one that's further away from you, and pull the legs in towards you. You'll feel that connection here, maybe of the right thigh and your abdomen. And we use that compression, and we keep breathing slowly into the body. And then slowly release. Maybe give your feet a little relaxation here. legs go up, they don't have to straighten all the way. And we're just going to roll the feet around. So sometimes when we're in that eagle legs, so intertwining the legs like that, we might get the feeling that our ankles need a little bit of movement. Now bring your right knee on top of the left. And again, left foot onto the ground. We can stay here and from there move over to the right. Or we intertwine again. We interlock the hands behind our head and we walk our feet, our right foot to the left. We bring our buttocks to the left as well. Deeper is, of course, to bring that right hip onto the ground here already and then drop from here. That might just be too much, so don't overdo it. We're not in competition with anyone here, not with ourselves either. So don't try to judge yourself by what you think you should be able to do or what you were able to do once in your life or yesterday. So just be comfortable here, and maybe you feel like closing the eyes. Shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed. And again, that left shoulder doesn't rise off the ground. And here my left knee certainly is on the ground, but that doesn't have to be the case. You can be much higher and still be in a deep twist, deep enough for you. So this is completely up to you where exactly you are. Just make sure you feel comfortable, feeling the stomach, feeling your left side, and feeling your lower back. And take deep breaths all the way into the body. Now, slowly rise on the next exhale. Buttocks come back into the middle of the mat here. And we're going to bring the knees in towards us. Maybe, again, just that left knee comes close. Or if it's both knees, you can try and see if you want to hold on to that knee that's further away from you. Maybe underneath here. This is all up to you. We can find our own way to make this comfortable. And the back of the head is firmly on the ground. Nice and relaxed shoulders here. Don't try and tense up anywhere. Try and soften every part of your body. Okay, and then we slowly release. Stretch the legs out towards the ceiling, maybe noticing that this time the legs can straighten a little bit more. Again, you must be sure that your hamstrings are okay here, that you're not doing too much. If you're comfortable, straighten the legs all the way. And then the legs come apart a little bit, and we're going to roll the feet around again. So just drawing a circle with the toes. That can be both in the same direction, it can be in different directions. And we're going to do both directions as well. So we're going to change direction now. Very good. And then hug the knees in towards you again. And from here, either come just onto the right side of the body and into a comfortable seated position, crossing the legs in front of you, or you can rock up to seated if you like. Very good. And then we cross the legs in front of us in Shukrasana. We'll sit nice and straight here. So we've got a block, and if you find that it's uncomfortable to sit like this, or if you find yourself just dropping forwards, we don't want to round our back. What we want is to push the pubic bone forwards and the tailbone to the back. If you're sitting nice and straight here with the shoulders above the hips, then you don't need a block, but you can help yourself out by sitting a little bit higher. It might be more comfortable for your hips here, and in general, not a bad idea. So hands onto the knees, and we're going to start rolling our shoulders to the back here, just warming up a little bit. And while we do that, we make sure that we take deep breaths, and that we feel our stomach rise as we breathe in, and fall as we breathe out. Close the eyes here. Stay in our body. Probably noticing that with the eyes closed, we're much more aware of those sensations that we can feel here. You might think, I don't want that, I feel enough already. You don't have to close the eyes. Good. Now from here we'll go the other way, but before we do that, we bring that outer foot in towards us. We just want to make sure We get comfortable here on both sides. We all have a side that we very naturally, without thinking about it, oscillate to. So now it's the other side, and we're going to roll our shoulders forwards. We also all have a side that is less dominant, tends to be the side that you're not writing with. So if your right hand is the one you're writing with, then focus on your left shoulder now and doing that movement really deep here, going all the way into your scapula, while still breathing deep breaths. And a few more. Good. And then from here, inhale and raise the arms. And look up to the ceiling. Point your fingertips as high as you can. Now slide the shoulders down, open up the arms to the sides. And then squeeze the shoulder blades here and send the arms towards the back. Very good. From here, take a deep breath in, raise the arms, look up, and exhale, bring the hands to your heart center. We're going to stay here for a little bit longer. Bring that right hand onto the ground, and inhale, raise your left arm. And we look up to the ceiling, and we're already stretching into our side here. Now we're going to increase that stretch a little bit by reaching over. And if it's comfortable, and only if it's comfortable, come onto your forearm here. That might be too deep, but if you're comfortable, then come with me. And if you want to, you can now drop your head here and just relax it. You can come with me and raise the head and look up to the ceiling. And you can even look towards your hand here, that's stretching over to the right side. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, come back to where you were. Inhale and raise your right arm. Keep your shoulder relaxed here, we're not reaching it up to the ear. And we look up to the ceiling, stretching into the right side here, and increasing on that stretch by reaching over to the left now. Maybe coming onto the left, the left forearm. Good. And now maybe you feel like dropping the head here, giving yourself a little bit of relaxation. And we raise the head, look up to the ceiling. Again, only if that's comfortable. And look over towards your right hand. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, come back to where you were. Outer foot comes back in towards us, and we'll do the same thing again. Breathe in, raise your left arm. Breathe out, reach that arm over and come as deep into this lat stretch as you like. Looking up to the ceiling, maybe looking down, deciding where you'd like to look and what's comfortable for your neck. You can move the neck here as well, move the head, moving the neck muscles too, by moving the head into all directions. One more deep breath in here, and on the exhale, come back to a straight spine. Roll the shoulders to the back, relax here. Breathe in, raise the right arm. Breathe out, reach the arm over to the left, maybe coming down into your left forearm. And again, you can do with your head what you want now. So take your cue from how your neck muscles feel. If you want movement, move, but make sure you're gentle here in those movements and not too quick. We don't want anything jerky to hurt ourselves. We'll take another deep breath in here, and on the exhale, we come back into a straight position. We roll the shoulders to the back. And then we bring the hands in front of us and walk onto all fours. Okay. We spread our fingers wide, making sure we don't just use the heel of the hands here, but our fingers and fingertips as well. Dig them into the mat and have your knees right underneath your hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Good. And from here, we're going to take a deep breath in, arch the back, look to the front. Keep your shoulders strong here. You don't want to sink into them. And on your next exhale, round your back and drop the head. Chin comes to the chest, and we push our
spine up, sorry, I'm not spine, especially the mid-back here is pushing up towards the ceiling. On the next inhale, arch your back again, keep the shoulders strong. Remember, look to the front or maybe even up if you like. So we can stretch the throat here, again, just if that's comfortable. Exhale, round your back, drop the head, chin to chest, and tailbone pushes forwards. Good. Now smooth movements here in your own time. Next time you inhale, arch your back and look up. And as you exhale, round your back and drop the head. And as this is all about how we're breathing, don't look at how I'm moving, whether I'm quite slow or quite fast for you. Just maybe even close the eyes here and listen to your own body. Every time you inhale, start that movement into an arch, and every time you start exhaling, move into rounding your back. And that's all it is, just inhaling and arching, exhaling and rounding in your own time. If you're comfortable holding your breath at the top here, then hold that pose. If you're comfortable holding the breath at the bottom for a little bit, then hold that pose here as well. Again, you should not hold your breath if you're pregnant, if you have a heart condition, or if you have blood pressure issues, or if for whatever reason it feels uncomfortable, then just stay away from that. Listen to your breath and listen to your body. Slowly make your way back into tabletop. And we're going to tuck our toes under. Again, remember we're using every single part of the hand here. We're going to push the hands into the ground and straighten the legs, push the hips up, drop the head and start walking the heels into the mat, one by one. Good. Now hips can go from side to side a bit more, so right knee to the left as we drop our right hip here, and then left knee to the right as we drop our left hip. Just if that's comfortable, you can do a couple more. Very good. And then from here, slowly walk your feet to the hands. Give your hands a shake here, and then let yourself just hang here. Elbows are being held by your opposite hand, and we just drop down. Now, of course, if you need to, bend your legs. And we're going to push our tailbone to the back here. So we want that little bit of movement here. Imagine pushing your lower belly towards the thighs, even if they don't touch. This is what we want to get to. Good. Now from here, walk your hands to the shins and straighten your arms and straighten your torso. And we look down to the ground, we can roll the shoulders to the back here. And then inhale, raise the arms to the side, squeeze the shoulder blades. Shift your weight a little bit into the toes and not into the heels, they can come off the ground. Breathe in and rise to standing. Look up to the ceiling, and on an exhale, bring the hands to your heart center. And we're going to start with Surya Namaskar with the sun salutation. We're going to go a little bit off-piste in that one, so it's not the traditional way of doing it, but something that will feel quite good for your stomach. So, feet together, and mostly it's exactly like Surya Namaskar. Roll the shoulders to the back, opening the palms to the front here, slide your shoulders down, and from here we take a deep breath in and raise the arms, look up to the ceiling. Exhale and bring the hands to the heart center and come halfway down, nice and slowly here for the first round. And then slowly bring the hands to the ground, drop the head, and relax. Now we want our hands to be right next to the feet. For some of us that's a little bit too deep, but you can always bend your legs here or just make it the fingertips. But I don't want the hands to be here because we're going to step back and we don't want our left knee to overshoot. So, from here, inhale, step the right leg to the back, And then exhale and sink your hips down, bring that back knee to the ground, relax here for a moment and just let the hips get heavy. Bring your hands onto your knees, roll the shoulders to the back and look to the front. And you're perfectly fine to stay here. If you want to, raise the arms and then draw a circle with the arms, bring the hands onto your hips so you're nice and comfortable here, and go into a little back bend, stretching the stomach here. We can look up to the ceiling. Again, if that's too much, stay here. That's absolutely fine. But it might be quite nice to stretch here and feel your abdomen. Those skin fibers stretch, the muscle fibers release. Good. And then from here, hands come back right next to that left foot. We're going to tuck the toes under here and straighten that leg. And then send that left leg to the back so you're landing in a plank. Just as a little reminder, a plank means we're really pushing ourselves away from the ground here. We won't sink into the shoulders. And we'll gently tuck our tailbone under a little bit. That's all it is. But if you feel that that's too much, there's nothing wrong with bringing the knees to the ground here into a half plank. So just stay comfortable wherever you are and don't just let the hips drop. That's not what we want. Now take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, bring the knees to the ground. Bring the elbows in towards you, crooks of the arms to the front, and drop your chest right in between the hands. Chin comes to the ground, and we relax. So toes still tucked under here. We can bring the fingertips onto the ground and push the elbows further towards each other. And if we want to feel a little bit more of that pinch here in the lumbar spine, bring the knees a bit further forwards if you like. Good. Now from here, come all the way onto the front of the body. Very good. Relax. Hands next to the chest. The full palm of the hand is here on the ground. And we're going to push the elbows back towards each other. Shoulders far away from the ears, so not up here, but down. Start squeezing the shoulder blades and push into the hands as you raise your chest off the ground. Feel your ribcage in touch with the ground for a moment here. And on the next inhale, come a little bit higher. Ribcage comes off the ground. Maybe the stomach comes off the ground as well. So this is quite deep. And there's a temptation now as we're quite high to straighten the arms and sink the shoulders upwards, but we don't want to do that. So a little mini bend here in the arms still, and the shoulders are away from the ears. And we can look to the front here, but chances are that if you're quite high like this, you can also look up to the ceiling and won't find that that's too much for the cervical spine. So if you're fine here, look up to the ceiling. And if you think this isn't doable, it's all a bit too much, then come down. There's nothing wrong with that. Good. Now wherever you are here, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, look to the right. Your torso is shifting a little bit with you here. You feel that in the left side of the body. And then look towards your right foot here at the back. Don't reach your shoulders upwards. Still shoulders slide down. And we're still bending the arms here. You should feel that in the wrists and forearms as well. And the tops of the hands. So we're working very hard here. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, come back to the front. If you need a little break, come down, give your hands, wrists a little bit of love. And you can also stay in the cobra if you want. Good. Now, if you've had a little break, come back into your cobra. So again, hands next to the chest. Push yourself up. Stay low if you need to, but make sure the elbows are digging into your sides. Come higher if you like. And then wherever we are now, we take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we look to the left. And we turn a little bit more and look towards the back foot here. Very good. Feeling the lower back, the right side, and our stomach. Deep breath in here, and on the exhale, we come back to the front. And we're going to push ourselves into child's pose. Just push your hips towards the back, drop your head. Bring the arms a little bit closer. The arms can also come to the sides of the legs here. And then change that child's pose a little bit by bringing your forehead a little bit closer towards your knees, and then looking towards your feet here. So as if you wanted the crown of the head to touch the ground, and we're rounding the back a little bit more. That should feel nice. For those who find child's pose quite difficult, of course you can raise your buttocks off the ground a little bit. You can even use your towel if you have one. Okay, and then from here, chin tucks under, we come up to sit on our heels. And we bring our hands to the front and come into Markatasana, tucking the toes under, pushing the hips up. Again, spread your fingers wide. Good. And now from here, take a deep breath in, raise your right leg. On an exhale, flex your foot and drop the heel to the buttocks, trying to keep that knee quite high. Inhale here. And on the exhale, we look to the hands, step the foot in between the hands, and sink the hips down. Take a moment to look to the front. If you like, come all the way up, but don't worry if you don't want that. We take a deep breath in here, wherever we are, and on the exhale, we step that left foot forward, hands come to the ground if they have been off the ground. And we take a little moment here, we can hug the legs in towards us, pulling ourselves closer. And from here, on the next deep breath in, we'll come all the way up to standing. And on an exhale, we bring the hands to the heart center. Very well done. We'll do the other side now. Take a deep breath in and raise the arms. Look up. Breathe out. Bring the hands to the heart center. Tip down from the hip. Take your time here as before, until the hands are right next to the feet and we can drop our head and relax here. Again, allow yourself to bend the legs if you need to. Fingertips on the ground or the full palm of the hand on the ground. We're going to take a deep breath in and step that left leg to the back. And we exhale and sink our hips down again. Knee and heel here at the front are in line. And we bring that back knee to the ground. We relax the top of the foot. And we slowly bring our hands onto the knee. We let the hips sink further and further down, looking to the front. Again, you can stay here, or you can breathe in and raise those arms. And on an exhale, draw a circle all the way to the back. Hands come onto our hips. And we inhale into a back bend if we like. Now again, this might be too much. You might also have lumbar spine issues. So just stay with what's comfortable for you. And take deep breaths wherever you are. Squeeze the shoulder blades here, elbows push towards each other. And we feel the stomach rise and fall. Very good. And from here, nice and slowly, hands come back to the front, push the hips up, and then from here, tap your left toes under, straighten the leg. Hips stay nice and low. They go up a little bit if that's comfortable, if that's more easy for you, but we try to keep them low as we send that right leg to the back. And here we are, back in our plank, remembering that we can bring the knees to the ground if everything gets a little bit too much. And we want to make sure we're really strong here in the shoulders. And if we have the knees off the ground, make sure you tuck your tailbone under gently, but don't drop your hips. Good. For those who want a bit more, we can come further forwards as well. So just see what feels comfortable for you. Good. Now take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, bring the knees to the ground. Now tailbone pushes to the back already, and as before, elbows in towards us as we drop the chest and chin to the ground. A little bit easier, I should have said actually in the first round, is doing this from the front of your body. So if you've had trouble, just tuck the toes under from the front of your body and just raise the hips a little bit. This is enough. As you get a little bit more flexible, you can come deeper into this pose, but all of these are versions of Ashtanga Namaskar. So 8 parts of our body touching the ground or greeting the ground. Good. And we have these slow breaths to focus on next exhalation, straighten the legs away from you, come onto the front of your body.
And relax. Hands still next to the chest. Now we make sure that the elbows don't go out to the sides here. We'll push the elbows in towards us and then push into the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades, look to the front, slide the shoulders down, remember? And we can stay here if that's all we want to do, or we'll come a little bit higher or as high as is possible, always making sure the pubic bone is still in touch with the ground. We look to the front or we look up to the ceiling. Now take a deep breath in here and on the exhale look to the left and all the way to the back. And this time it might already be a little bit easier, we're more used to this now, we've done it before. Good. We take a deep breath in. On the exhale we release, come back to the front. We inhale here and we exhale and look to the right. And slowly all the way to the back. So we'll have a couple of breaths here, use them to deepen this little pose here. Good. Deep breath in now. And exhale, come back to the front. We take a deep breath in and look up or to the front. And we exhale and push our hips to the back, coming back into child's pose. Arms can reach to the front if you prefer, can come in towards us if you like, or all the way stretching out next to the legs. And then from here, slowly bring your forehead closer in towards you, chest goes further in towards the top of the thighs. And we breathe. Shoulders drop down here, they're allowed to relax. On your next exhale, with the chin still tucked under, come to sit on your heels. And I know that's not comfortable for everyone, that's why we're not staying. We're going to bring ourselves back into Pavanmukhtasana, mountain pose, or Pavanmukhtasana, down dog. Hips high, heels heavy, and the chest pushing towards the back. We take a deep breath in and raise our left leg, nice and high. And we're going to flex the foot and on an exhale, drop the heel to the buttocks. Again, remembering that that knee shouldn't suddenly drop, but stay high. So that we're feeling our quad stretched here, we're going into the knee of course, and we feel the side body engaged. Deep breath in here, and on the exhale, look to the hands, step your foot in between the hands. You've got time to walk it forwards if it's landed much further back. So sink the hips down, look to the front, and maybe even rise into Ashtanga. Again, that's completely optional. Good. And we take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we bring the hands back down and step that right foot forwards. Drop your head, relax. Good. Now breathe in, rise to standing. And breathe out, bring the hands to your heart center. And then step your right foot all the way to the back, right heel firmly on the ground, toes point outwards. We're going to open up towards the right now. Left knee is in line with your heel. And then from here, bring that left arm onto the left leg. Look up to the ceiling. And then reach that right arm over towards the front. We're going to open the palm to the ceiling now and reach that arm as far as you can. Look up to the ceiling or look over towards your right hand if that still feels comfortable, if you feel quite stable here. And you can bring the thumb and forefinger tip of the left hand together if you like and stretch the remaining fingers away from you. Good. And from this extended side angle, we are going into Trikonasana, into our triangle. So we're going to straighten the left leg and we're going to straighten the left arm. Right arm keeps reaching over to the front. And we can grab hold here as well, that'll make it easier. Some of you might be able to have the hand on the ground, that's fine as well. But try not to push the hips to the back and your torso forwards. So nice and straight here. And let your hand be wherever it's comfortable for you. Again, with
where you're looking at, again, depends on how you're feeling. If the neck is happier with you looking down, then do that. Just be mindful of what is comfortable here in your body and what isn't. And then on your next exhale, bend your leg, bring your hands onto the ground and step forward. Drop your head, breathe in, raise the arms and torso. And breathe out, bring the hands to your heart center. And we'll do the other side. Now step that left foot to the back, sink down into that right leg, knee above the heel. And then we open up to the left here, making sure that that left hip pushes to the back, nice and open in every part of the body, sinking down as low as is comfortable. And then from here, right arm onto the right leg, left arm reaches up, and then over to the front. We open the palm to the ceiling. So I'm doing a Gyan Mudra here, you don't have to, but you can if you like. Pressing the thumb and forefinger together. Remembering here too, we don't push the hips to the back and the torso to the front. We want to be in one straight line. And if we like, with that palm open, we can look towards our left fingertips. Good. Now from here, deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to straighten the right leg. We're going to straighten the right arm. We can hover that hand as well. Can just not be in touch with the ground, but that's a little bit harder. So if you want to hold on somewhere, even if that's much higher, this is your lat stretch. So don't worry about how it looks, where you want to get to. That's not important. You can look to the fingertips here as well, or we can decide that no, we want to actually look down, or we want to look to the side, we want to look up to the ceiling. Good, and another deep breath in here. On the exhale, we bend that front leg, we bring the hands to the ground, and we step forwards. Drop the head, relax. Very good. And then from here, come down to your buttocks. And we're going to come into Sarvangasana now. So the shoulder stand. And for this, we've got, if we want to, a towel or a blanket or something. So you don't need to do this, but it might feel more comfortable to rest on a towel. You can double up, you can have it like I do now, or you can make it into a more scrunchy towel even, and come here. Now, I'll just demonstrate it like this. You can do the same thing without a towel. Bring that towel underneath your shoulders and your upper back here, like so, so that when you drop the head is a little bit lower, and as we're coming into the shoulder stand, first just raise the legs, and then use your hands on your buttocks to give yourself a little bit of movement here. Use that momentum to just go back, and maybe at some point you'll be able to hold up here. And you'll notice if that towel is underneath you, it's all a little bit softer, and the head drops further down, so you're not putting too much of a, so you're not coming into that Jalandhar Bandh as much, putting the chin on the chest too much. And you're also protecting your spine here. So especially C7, there's a lot of strain on that part of your spine. So you might be more comfortable here. And Halasana is fine, but you might just have the legs quite high. And then from here, we're going to raise the legs to the ceiling. Again, this same thing is of course possible with your towel a little bit lower. You might feel that that is more comfortable, nice and soft, and you feel completely at ease. Or if you want to, same thing here, without the towel, just on a comfy mat. Maybe like me, you've got a rug underneath that mat. Good. We'll take slow, deep breaths here. And then slowly bring the knees towards your forehead. Keep holding on here. And feet come towards your buttocks. Good. We'll take a couple of breaths here, in through the nose and out through the nose. And then we roll back down into our back. Very good. Get rid of the towel. towel. If you had one, you're not going to need it now. But what you will need is 1 or even 2 blocks. If you've got books, then use 2 books maybe. With 1 block, I'm just going to show you, we'll come into a supported hip bridge. So feet about hip distance apart. We're going to bring a block underneath our hips. So you can come here, you can raise the block higher, you can raise it to its highest. And if you want to, if you're super flexible, so just make sure that you're comfortable, you can bring 1 block underneath that second block and then raise yourself up even higher with the feet firmly on the ground here. So see if that's comfortable. And then you can grab hold of your hands here, interlocking the hands. So this is of course the highest way. You might not want that. Just a little bit of hip elevation here is fine. See what's working for you. And we stay here with deep breaths. You might decide that a towel underneath you was more comfortable. That's fine as well. Wouldn't double up too much, so don't scrunch it up too much. But again, you know your body best, so you decide. Good. Now we want to focus all of our awareness on our stomach here. That feeling in the stomach. So every time we inhale, remember, stomach expands. Every time we exhale, stomach falls. We feel that relaxation here. We feel that softening every time we exhale. Feel that stretch every time we inhale. And then from here, grab hold of your block, push your hips higher, and release your block or blocks or books or whatever you've been using, and come down onto your back. Take a moment to hug your knees in towards you. That should feel nice. And a few deep breaths. And then from here, come up onto your forearms, onto your hands, onto your buttocks, and we'll come into either Padmasana, so the lotus pose, or a half version of it, or if all of this is too much, because I know that might not be comfortable for everyone, just come into Shukrasana, into a cross-legged position, just like we did at the beginning. If you want to, again, Padmasana with the tops of the feet on the opposite thigh, nice and close, and we're going to come onto our forearms, and then drop the head to the back. Now there's an option of using the block here if you prefer. You can help yourself out a little bit, so keeping the forearms on the ground, or you can reach the arms all the way up over the head here. We take deep breaths into the front of the body. Nice and slowly come back up, because we want to do the other side of Padmasana or Shukrasana, just as we did at the beginning. We're going to start with the other foot, or bringing the outer foot in towards us, and then coming back, either onto the block or not onto the block. Again, you decide, as always. Many different options here. You can let yourself just be held up, or you can release that block, forget about those props, and just do the work yourself. Deep breaths here, and there's a slight temptation of breathing in and out through the mouth, but I want you to remember to breathe in and out through the nose. Stomach rises and stomach falls. the knees in towards you. And then knees to the armpits here, so that the feet are far apart as well. We're going to go into our ankles a little bit here, moving from right to left, and then doing a full circle in both directions. Good. And then we come up here and onto our buttocks. And I'll show you two ways of doing Yog Mudra Manduk Vajrasana. I'm not going to bore you with what it is, but basically we want to compress our stomach now and come forwards and take deep breaths here. So the actual traditional way of doing Manduk Vajrasana, or the frog pose in Vajrasana and sitting on the heels like this, is to bring our hands into fists with our thumbs inside. Bring the thumb side into your navel here, gently press, not too hard because we're coming down. Now take a deep breath in, and on the exhale you're going to come down here, all the way down, and the buttocks should still be in touch with our heels. If that's not the case, then we just stay a little bit higher. And we hold our breath here, and on the next inhale we come up. So we hold our breath for as long as we can. Obviously this was just a demonstration, I wasn't holding my breath, but we hold our breath for as long as we can. Again, if you can't hold your breath or you don't want to hold your breath because it's uncomfortable, what you do is just breathe out as you go down, breathe in as you go up. For those who can't sit on their heels, we'll do the same thing, bringing the feet to the front, feet together, knees together. Hand gesture still the same, so hands into fists, thumbs inside, thumb side digs into the navel. We take a deep breath in, and on the exhale we come forwards. We can hold here too, or we just keep our flow of breath nice and steady without that holding of the breath. Exhaling as we come forwards and inhaling as we come back. You can do the same if you find this uncomfortable or a little bit too much for your abdomen, with rolling up a towel. So while I demonstrate that with sitting on our heels, you just keep going. You know what works for you and what doesn't. And again, we can hold the breath or we can keep that breath flowing. One last time in your own time. Good. And when you're ready, come onto your back and bring the knees in towards you. Gently rocking from side to side here. Close the eyes if you like, and then glue your knees and your feet together. Interlock the hands behind you, and then drop the knees to the right and turn the head to the left. Another deep breath in, and on the exhale, raise your knees here and come back to where you were, hugging the knees in towards you. And I'm going to do the same on the other side, making sure the knees are together and the feet are together, knees close in towards the chest here. We take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we drop the knees to the left and turn the head to the right. And just find you're comfortable here. Deep and slow breaths. Stay comfortable. On your next exhale, come back up. Bring the feet onto the ground. And we're going to bring our right knee in towards us, and the left knee goes away from us. Now to make this, we're going to go into another Markatasana. We've had almost all versions in this class. To make this a little bit deeper, what we did at the beginning was shift the hips over. So here, left foot down into the ground, so that we can easily shift the hips over to the right side. You can bring the left hip onto the ground already, and then from here, stretch over to the left. So right knee to the left, turn the hip to the right. Same twist, only a little bit different. And you will feel that difference. And I want you to breathe deeply into the lower abdomen. And of course to be aware of the side here, the right side, and of the lower back. You can close the eyes. Relax your jaw. Feel your whole body soften. Shouldn't be any tension in the left leg and the right leg. Even though you'll feel quite strong sensations probably in your lower back and in your right side and the hip and the stomach maybe, that doesn't mean you have to tense up. Let yourself really relax here. Right shoulder firmly on the ground. You have that option of stretching the arm to the side as well. But just be comfortable. And then very slowly on your next exhale, raise that knee again. Bring the right foot down into the ground. And then shift your hips back to where they were. We're going to bring both knees in towards us here to release some of that feeling in our lumbar spine. Good. And then toes together here and draw a circle with your knees. Nice big circle. Focus here on those deep belly breaths. And letting the stomach rise as you inhale, feeling it fall as you exhale. Very good. And then we release that right leg away from us and bring the left knee in towards us. Again, if this was all a little bit too much for you, or if you don't want to go super deep into your twist, start from here, bringing that left knee over to the right. That might be enough. If you want to go a little bit further, right foot to the left, hips to the left, right hip onto the ground here, and from here, straighten that right leg and push your left knee down. We turn the head to the left. Just so we can see that that left shoulder here is still on the ground and the arm is relaxed. It doesn't matter where it is. Just keep it relaxed. Keep it soft. And breathe into that softness in your entire body. Close your eyes, relax your jaw, your tongue, your forehead and your eyebrows. Feel the softness in the legs, the pelvis, your hips, softness in your stomach, your shoulders and arms. Chest and rib cage, and then every part of your back, and then slowly make your way onto your back again, left foot down onto the ground so you can shift the hips back to center, and then bring your knees back in towards you, knees to the armpits, toes together, and remember how you were rolling. Were you rolling clockwise or probably both. So that was the wrong way of saying, but remember which direction you did. And then do the other direction. Very good. And then slowly hug the knees in towards you here. Arms can come around a little bit deeper if you like, but make sure your shoulders stay relaxed and your back is firmly on the ground here, the lower back too. And we'll take a few deep breaths all the way into the body. Good. Now from here, bring the knees apart and release that left foot down into the ground. We're going to flex our right foot and grab hold of the right foot with the right hand. Push the knee down. You'll use your left hand here on that left leg as you push your flexed foot up. If this is all a bit much, then just go not as deep as you would normally, but relax your shoulder. Maybe hold on a little bit lower. This is always an option too. And if you want more, stretch that left leg away from you. So probably the deepest version here. This is fine too. If you want to take things a little bit easier, that's fine. Just holding on somewhere higher, closer to you than your foot is right now. You might feel your inner thigh, that deep stretch. And then slowly release, straighten that leg towards the ceiling, roll your foot in both directions. Then bring that foot down and bring the other knee in towards you. From here, grab hold of your foot, or again, a little bit further up. Push your knee down and push your foot up to the ceiling. Right hand rests on the leg, and if you want, you stretch that leg away from you. Good. And again, if we're a little bit less deep into our pose, or somewhere around here, that's completely fine as well. Feel your lower back firmly on the ground here though. And slowly release, straighten the leg towards the ceiling, roll your foot in both directions. And then we'll come into Shavasana. If we like, we can also make our way back into Suptabaddakonasana. Knees can be, or legs can be held by the blocks. Or as an alternative, if you prefer Shavasana, that's completely fine. You can use your books, blocks, or whatever it is that you are using to elevate your upper body. And you've got a towel to make this all a little bit more comfortable here. Closer in towards me now. Come onto the blocks here, upper back firmly on the blocks, and you're stretching the arms up over the head, either all the way or hold on to your elbows here. Back of the head is on the ground, not on those blocks. And you feel your shoulders relax here, shoulder blades are firmly on your block. For those who've got a bolster, of course, this is fine with a bolster as well. And soles of the feet together here is fine as well. So wherever we are, we'll take a few moments here to relax our body and our breath. Feel the breath go into your body. And feel it leave your body. fall of the chest. The rise and fall of the ribcage. Our whole upper body expands as we inhale and collapses into itself as we exhale. And just observe your breath. Observe the stillness in your body. Notice any tension or tightness in the body, if there's any left. Notice the sensations in your body. And just accept them, the tension of the sensations. And take a deep breath in. On the exhale, open your mouth. And again, deep breath in. Open your mouth as you exhale. This doesn't have to be a strong exhalation. However you like it, one last time. Then bring the soles of the feet in towards you. Bring the forearms onto the ground. Raise the head very gently. And come up to seated. You can do this through the right side of the body as well. Come into a comfortable seated position, crossing the legs in front of us. We're going to roll the shoulders to the back. Then slide your shoulders down. Drop your left ear to the left shoulder. Roll the chin slowly to the chest. Raise your head here. Then drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Roll the chin slowly down to the chest. On the next inhale, raise the arms, raise the head. And exhale. Bring the hands to the heart center. Thank you very much for joining me. Questions, comments, you can always write to me in the comments